The Good Samaritan is supposed to be easy, right? I mean, this is most people's view of religion, whether Christian or whatever. If someone needs help, you help them. No problem. We even have laws to protect the Good Samaritan when he accidentally hurts someone, when he tries to help, or to encourage citizens to help people in distress by punishing people who observe and do not help. We all agree. God likes it when we help each other. It really is that easy, except that the Good Samaritan is not about helping each other. Well, it is, but it isn't. See, this is what the brainiacs call meta. The parable is meta. Meta what? Well, have you ever heard a conversation between two lawyers? Their conversation is meta. You might even understand all the words coming out of their mouths, but you probably have no idea what they're really talking about unless you're a lawyer. Two lawyers are talking about inheriting eternal life. The first lawyer stands up to put Jesus to the test, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But the second lawyer is on to the first lawyer, seeing as how the second lawyer is also the lawgiver, Jesus Christ, Son of the Father, making himself known previously to Moses and giving him the 10 Commandments and all those laws. You shall not, you shall not, you shall not, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. The Son of God gave those laws, put himself under those laws, and is now the second lawyer in a discussion with another lawyer over inheriting eternal life. What shall I do? Do this and live. The second lawyer has laid his trap for Jesus, and desiring to justify himself, meaning he does not do the law, and he knows it, asks, "And who is my neighbor?" This is legalese. That question is why the easy parable of the Good Samaritan isn't easy at all. See, we live a life of obligation. All of our lives are fulfilling obligations. Did you listen to Mommy and Daddy? Or did you talk back and do what you weren't supposed to do? How did you do on your schoolwork? How did you do in your exams? Do you have the degree you need for a good job or the skills you need for a good job? Are you on the right path for the career you want? After all, you want to retire and have a good life one of these days. Wait a second, you've got kids now. How did that happen? You were disobeying Mom and Dad just a few days ago, it seems, and now your kids are talking back to you. Are you being true to your wife? Did your husband leave you? Why did he leave you? Did you do something bad? Are you bad? What can you do to make it right again? Obligations, my friends, one obligation after another, drive us around, and they're usually all entangled with each other, so that if you get half of them right, you probably get half of them wrong simultaneously. What shall you do? A wise person realizes there's nothing you can do, and we look for mercy. I'm serious, I just totally accidentally read an article about Draco yesterday. I was procrastinating, in fact, doing anything besides studying for this sermon, and I ran across this little ditty about Draco. Draco, who's Draco? Whenever the conservatives propose a tax cut, the liberals immediately say, "Those are draconian cuts. We're all going to die." And whenever the liberals pass another regulatory law, the conservatives immediately say, "Those laws are going to have a draconian effect on the economy. We're all going to die." Draco was the guy in Greece who was the first to figure out that if you write down the laws, then a tyrant has less power over your life. Writing down laws gave civilization a better chance to pass from one generation to the next generation. The problem, however, with Draco's laws was self-evident. Every violation of the law was met with the punishment of death. The punishment for murder was death. The punishment for rape was death. The punishment of grand theft auto was death. And the punishment for idleness was death. Idleness? Jim Smith, you are hereby charged with the high crime of idleness. What is your answer to the charge? I am not guilty. What is the evidence against me? You were found leaning against a fence, doing nothing. I was watching Mr. Braithwaite's cows, just as I was hired to do. That may be true, Mr. Smith, but the court finds that you could have been doing something productive. We find you guilty, and we sentence you to death. Draconian. On the other hand, Draco had his finger on something, didn't he? He was trying to apply divine realities to ordinary, we're just trying to survive realities, which just won't do. This is the lawyer's question. And who is my neighbor? As in, where does the divine reality of you shall not, you shall not, you shall not end? And where do we're just trying to survive realities begin? Jesus flips the whole question upside down on him, making it, through the looking glass, unrecognizable, an argument that would not be allowed in court. The priest and the Levite are under obligations. They shall not help the man left for dead. They shall not, no way, help that man as commanded by God's law. You can look it up. You, lawyer boy, are left for dead, and your own laws command that you shall surely die. You're left for dead, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, come on, lawyer boy. What can a dead man do to inherit eternal life? You can look for mercy, I guess. The outsider makes his triumphant ride to the rescue. Obligations never save. They only oblige us to do more until we ourselves are exhausted and worn out, hurt, looking for someone else to help us, finding that almost everyone else is worn out and hurt, just like us. The outsider is under no obligations. He is completely free to have mercy on us. And being completely free never tires of helping us. Even when he was hurt, even hurt to death, he helped us, pouring out forgiveness of sins upon us. Forgiveness of sins is salve for our wounds, real medicine for our hurts. The outsider, he is the lawgiver, which puts him above all the you shall not, you shall not, you shall surely not. He has the power to love us like no one else has. Have you been left for dead by all your obligations? Do you feel angry that your path in life is littered with hurts and regrets? Where are you? Have you done enough to inherit eternal life? In fact, if you are lying on the ground, left for dead, you've done just enough to look for help. The outsider is Jesus, who rides in from the heavenly kingdom to put you on his donkey, to pay for your care with his wealth, and to personally apply the medicine you need right where it hurts. Wasn't he left for dead? He was, I think. So he knows. He knows. The touch of a man who used to be dead is enough to raise the dead, isn't it? The parable of the Good Samaritan is crazy, isn't it? You've been left for dead, and now you've been raised from the dead by a man who was dead, who died for you. Now you are as free as he is. You are under no obligations to do anything at all. You are completely free from you shall not, you shall not, you shall not. Now your life is about mercy, about tender care that you received, and about the same tender care that you give. What shall I do to inherit eternal life? Oh, forget about all the legalese, all that lawyer talk. Let the lawyers talk their meta talk about draconian cuts and draconian effects. As for you, left for dead, but raised up by the outsider, what tender care are you going to give away today? You're free to give away as much tender care as you want.